You're listening to A Tiny Homestead, the podcast comprised entirely of conversations with homesteaders, cottage food producers, and crafters. I'm your host, Mary Lewis. Talking with Swan at Harry Farfit Girls, and if you laugh, that's okay, so did I. And I know she's in the South somewhere. Where are you, Swan?
I am in Bowman, Georgia, which is just kind of east of Athens, Georgia.
Okay, cool.
So it's the northeast corner of Georgia.
All right, that makes a lot of sense. That helps. How's the weather there this morning?
I think that we're going to get into the mid 80s. So it's a little warm. It hasn't actually been too bad. I think it's probably about 70 something right now. So it's the delightful time of day. Give it about another hour and we'll be scorched again.
Well, how cool do you guys get in January?
Well, we have a little pond on our property, and in January and February and December, our pond freezes all the way over. I'm not willing to walk out to the middle of it, but I can stand on the sides. So it gets to, I think we've only been here for about 4.5 years, but it gets to the 20s and the teens a little bit.
Okay.
Just a few times. But for the most part, during the day, we typically stay at the coldest above snowing temperature.
Okay. Awesome. I've never been further south than, I think Maryland. So I have no idea what it's like in the South in the wintertime.
I don't think anybody's ever considered Maryland South. So
it's not, but that's as far south as I've ever gotten, in the United States. So,
all right.
The weather here in Minnesota this morning is cool and overcast to the point that we are actually fog locked on my property. I can't see an eighth of a mile away.
Oh, wow. Wow, that's incredible.
Yep, my son calls it uncanny valley when this happens because it makes you feel like you're the only person on earth.
My son, whenever we have a foggy morning, which we don't really have right now in this time of year, but he calls it, he's 5. So he said it's froggy outside, and we have always decided to never correct him from calling fog frog. So he says it's froggy, or he can't see through the frog outside. So.
Oh yeah, we call it froggy. We also call humidity humdidity.
We call it humidititty.
Yep,
is the South. And
Yep. And there's one other I was thinking of when you brought that up. And of course it's gone because I have over 50 brain and I think of things that are funny. And then by the time I get to say them out of my mouth, they're out of my brain and I can't find them again.
I'll do that exact same thing. And I have under 50 brain. So
yeah,
I think it's just the way that we live now.
Yeah, there's just too much information and your brain can't possibly sort it as fast as, say, AI can.
Ugh.
So, but anyway, we've tried to do a podcast twice before and had terrible technical difficulties. So Swan is back for the third time, hopefully the charm, so that we can actually talk with Swan about what she and her wife do in Georgia. So tell me a little bit about yourself and what you do, Swan.
All right. Well, we have a little 12-acre farm out here. We are called the Harry Farfit Girls, and we started off just as we started off at a different farm down in South Georgia. Whenever we started building that farm, we had come from the city, and we started building that farm. I just started writing about it on social media, particularly on Facebook. So just letting people kind of watch our journey, because I know that not everybody could do what we were doing. And so I just wanted to share it. And I didn't want to bog all of my other friends down with 4,000 photos of chickens. So I figured if the internet wanted to see 4,000 photos of chickens, they could come and see them all the time with a social media page. So at first I just started writing about it. And then we got pretty popular because I have a little bit of a sense of humor. So we added a product. We started raising goats and making goat milk soap and lotion and doing farmers markets and little shops around South Georgia. And then we got more and more popular, and we were able to buy a second farm up in North Georgia and move all of our stuff to online. So now we make soaps. We make soap, goat milk soap still. But also I've got a lot of people that just have fallen in love with our animals over the past decade. We've been sharing for a little over 10 years. Oh, it's actually going to be 11 years in January. We've been sharing this journey for 11 years now. And so now we have patrons that support us every month, usually from $3 to $20 a month. They pledge, and my dogs are barking, but they pledge some money, and so we're able to feed our goats and take care of our animals with that support and this money that we make off of social media and just sharing about everything. So everything that I post gets a couple bucks here and there, and we still sell our soaps and lotions every day.
Nice. I have learned recently that the system that you are doing where you make money from doing things online and people get to enjoy the things that you're doing is called value for value.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that term until like 3 weeks ago. I knew what it meant. I just hadn't heard it put that way before.
Yeah, there's a part that, I mean, people have gotten to feel like they know us over the past decade.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I definitely feel like we know some of our fans, I guess you would call them, as well. But it is a value for value system. So like things like one of the things that I'm very into these days is crocheting and doing all sorts of things with yarn and fibers, and it's crochet, if you're familiar with it, is pretty hard to sell for as much work as you put into it.
I am familiar, yes.
But my accountant, because I make money off of social media and just sharing things makes people happy, my accountant lets me write off all my yarn purchases and all of anything that I do that's fun that I talk about. I get to, have our business cover those expenses. And so while I might not be sharing or selling the sweater that I'm making, I get to still make it and make it for that value that other people are seeing and sharing it. And one of the things that I've done over the past year or two is kind of move our page a little bit more towards the art side of things. Mm-hmm. So where I encourage everybody to share their art and everybody to have their community around our farm, but then also like their own outside community. So I built little places for Harry Farfit Girl followers to talk and interact with one another all over the place.
Nice. Awesome. So you've built an actual real community out of this. And I think that's what everybody's trying to do who's in this space.
So one of the ways that I've done that is we have a Patreon. Are you familiar with Patreon?
Yes, I finally got mine set up after talking to you 2 years ago.
Excellent. So we have a Patreon, and that is a wonderful thing. And one thing that we do, so we have just people that want to support us. So they pledge $3 a month. I think that's our beginning tier. But once you go up to $6 a month, you get access to me almost all the time. So we have Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, we have Patreon calls, and we do a big Zoom meeting. And I think that I can 100% tell you that some of the people in our Patreon calls have become some of my best friends and closest friends. We talk face to face for 2 hours to sometimes 5 or 6 hours, 3 nights a week. We have text message chains. I've met a lot of them face to face, and they've become like family. So, and then building that family and that kind of community, where I have one group that's like 3,500 people full that people can all interact with one another. While I might not always be able to be there, I've got moderators, and it's a like little happy place on the internet. And so whether you want to be a small group or a little group, just Harry Farfit Girls, you kind of know, people aren't really going to find us that don't share some of the same values. So it's kind of a nice little fun place where you have a sense of humor, you're crafty, you're a little bit feral, and you just play around, and you came together probably because of a story about a goat.
Yes. You've told me the story twice already, but because the podcast episodes went into the ether, I didn't get to put it out. So tell me about the goat, because you have a story about the first goat.
About Vincent Van Goat?
Yes.
Okay. So Vincent Van Goat, and I know that you have a lot of people that kind of do homesteading stuff that listen to you. So a lot of them might know about buck goat behaviors. Vincent Van Goat was our very first intact buck goat. Got him as a baby, but he was going to be used for getting our other goats pregnant. Vincent has some proclivities that other buck goats share, but he also is not, he's also extremely, extremely sweet and friendly. So Vincent is a very limber goat who has at times failed to get any of our other goats pregnant because he likes himself as much as he likes female goats.
Uh-huh.
So one of the first ways that I got popular was, are you familiar with the goat mating call?
Sort of, kind of.
I'm going to embarrass myself here, and I don't know how it's going to come off on the podcast, but a goat mating call. Basically, you stick out your tongue and you just go,
Yes,
so,
yes.
and it's really, really loud. So Vincent Van Gogh lived with one of our donkeys named David Asseloff, and they began a romantic relationship. And Vincent's face, Lynn, goes right up to David's. So I'm going to say it because I use this word all the time. His butthole.
Mm-hmm.
So we started marketing something with Vincent Van Gogh called "Screaming into Buttholes." Because everything that he was doing, rather than focusing on the girl goats, he was focusing on screaming into David's butthole, as well as some of his own limber issues. I don't know what I can say on this podcast. Can I go all the way?
No.
Okay. So I'm just saying limber issues. I'm gonna self. My fans will know what I'm talking about. And your fans can know about goats.
He was enamored with his own body parts.
He was very enamored with his own body parts.
Is that good? Yeah.
Yes. To the point that because we make goat milk soap, and to have goat milk soap, we have to have milk, and to have milk, we have to have baby goats. Vincent was so enamored with himself and with a rototiller and David Asseloff that he failed to get anybody pregnant only one goat pregnant one year. So then we had to get another goat named Jeff Goatbloom. So that's Vincent and his proclivities and his sweet face. Most butt goats are not cute. Vincent is cute. Most butt goats are not sweet and personable. Vincent is so personable. He wants to be loved. He smells like an ammonia factory, but he loves love. So he's kind of stolen the heart of everybody and kind of launched us into that over that hump of, online farm to being a mega popular online farm that people follow and have just watched this adventure go for so many years. So that's my story of Vincent a little bit.
What a circuitous route to become famous.
Yeah, there was also a vulture in my chimney involved and a little peacock. So there have been quite a few times that I've gotten a little famous from some things. We've just, you're sitting on a farm. These animals become your family, and just being able to I'm a writer, so just being able to put the things that I see into a fun and unique perspective has kind of helped everything move along and support us for the past, it's been 11 years that this is what we do. Yeah, that's pretty incredible. We don't sell anything other than goat milk soap, and lip balm and stickers and stuff like that. But our online stuff has paid for all of our stuff for that long.
Awesome. You mentioned lip balms and soaps. We make our own for us, and we sell them at the farmers market. And the thing that I love about making lip balms and soaps is that we are never without lip balms and soaps.
You can say that. I own a company that makes lip balms. We make lip balms by the hundreds and thousands sometimes, whenever we make some batches of lip balms. Mm-hmm. I still can go into rooms of my house and also be like, I don't have adults. And I'll be like, I don't have any lip balm anywhere. So that's one thing. I'm never without soap, but I still manage to lose lip balm, even though there's a good 100 tubes probably in this house. And then out in our studio, there's thousands. I just try not to pay from the company.
I think the only room that doesn't have lip balm in it right now is my kitchen. I know there's lip balms in the bathroom drawers. I can see lip balms on my dresser in my bedroom, which is where I record. I know my son has 3 on his bedside table in his room. And I know there's like 3 bags of lip balms in our living room right now.
It's very convenient. I imagine that north where you are, you definitely need an extra there.
Oh yeah, we go through lip balm like people go through chewing gum, I guess. We'll use that as an analogy. Um, and the other thing about our lip balms, as long as they're not flavored or scented, you can use them as like for your dry elbows or your dry feet. Just make sure you know which ones you're using for that.
Just 1 second. Is my dog barking bothering you? That's Sarah Jessica Barker, and she has one volume. I can go move her if you'd like me to. I didn't know if you can hear on your end.
I can hear her, and if you'd like to move her, that would be fine.
Okay, I'll be back in 1 minute. Let me just go toss her somewhere. Come on. Let's go. Alrighty, I'm back. Sorry about that.
Is she a big dog?
Oh my goodness, I have so many dogs right now. So Sarah Jessica Barker is a 70-pound lab mix. She's, I think she just turned 10. So we have 5 dogs right now. We also have a 13-year-old terrier who's always itchy, and he's very stuck in his ways and is the quietest one out here. And his name is Lionel Itchy. This year we got puppies. So we decided. We had been discussing, we have a lot of coyotes out here. We had been discussing getting livestock dogs for a while. And Jen finally caved and was like, okay, let's do it. So we got a pair of Pyrenees mixes as puppies. Like we knew what they were because they had been conceived. They were a combination of 2 of my different neighbors' dogs. And so we knew their parents and their grandparents, and they were conceived right in front of our trash can.
Nice.
So this was a year and a half ago. So we were able to find their mom dog. We were able to find her a better home and get her fixed and everything like that later on. But whenever we found her the better home, she moved. They had moved up to Ohio, and they contacted like us, and they were like, "Hey, is there a chance that this dog is pregnant?" And I was like, "You know what? There is a chance, and if so, I am so sorry." But also, like, because like I said, this was a neighbor's dog that came over to our house or came over to another neighbor's house, and it was just kind of a community dog that one neighbor was no longer interested in her.
Mm-hmm.
So I said, if she is pregnant and if she has puppies, I'll actually take 2 of them because I would like to start livestock dogs from the start, and I knew that they were going to be Pyrenees mixes. So they got the pick of the litter. They drove these 2 dogs down from Ohio back to Georgia. And so now I have 2 livestock dogs that decided that they are more comfortable in the house than on the couch, eating shoes and couches and everything. So now I have a 120-pound male dog and about a 90-pound female dog, Marfa and Wolfus, that live in our house. And Marfa just chased a tractor down the street, so she's gone to make sure that doesn't come to our property, I guess. And then we have back in April, we were driving to town, and there were 3 little tiny black puppies they're about 6 weeks old, that had been dropped off in the middle of the road. And I can't leave anything, so I scooped them all up. By that weekend, we were going to visit Jen's family who live up in Kokomo, Indiana. So we had to bring all 3 of these little puppies with us in a little pack and play, like what babies sleep in. We brought that to our mom's house. And I had somebody come over from Massachusetts and adopt one. It was one of my Harry Farfit Girl followers online. Shout out to Erin and Lisa. Hey. And then I had somebody come down from Minnesota as well and came down here. She drove down a couple months ago and adopted another one. And we still have one left. Her name was Donna. And we decided that we're going to keep her unless we could find her a perfect home. She doesn't necessarily do the best on a farm. She's the sweetest dog, but she kind of gets bullied around by the other bigger dogs, and she's scared of them. And she also wants to chase chickens and goats and stuff like that. So
yeah,
we love her, and we'll take care of her forever. But if anybody is interested, all they have to do is just reach out to Harry Farfit Girls on social media, and we can hook you up with the world's sweetest little puppy. But we have her. So we have 5 dogs. Oh, and her name is Donatella Versace. So
I love all the names you come up with.
Thanks. Everybody's a pun out here.
Yeah, we have a dog, and her name is Maggie. It's not anything funny. Well, maybe it is. I I lied. Um, I have this thing where I am not the most Christian girl ever, but I really like names from the Bible.
Okay.
And I don't know why, but I was thinking of Mary of Magdalene when we decided we were going to get a puppy. And if we got a female, I wanted to name her Maggie because of Mary of Magdalene. And I'm like, or Mary Magdalene, however you say it. And my husband was like, "What is your obsession with biblical names?" He said, you don't even go to church. And I was like, I don't know. There's just really neat names in the Bible.
Sometimes you just get a theme and you just kind of go with it. Like, I have some friends that name all of their animals like just really blunt human names, like Liggery and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And for me, I do most things based on celebrities or politicians or somewhere along there. So I have just everybody gets a pun, and musicians and everything like that. So I have the puns, but go with your theme. If you like all the biblical names, go with it. I have a chicken out in the yard, a rooster, who, whenever he was a little, I hatched him from my own eggs. Whenever he was a little chick, he used to always stand in the water bowl. So I would say he walks on water. So, of course, I had to name him one thing, but then I decided just to put a little bit of a spin on it so that way I wasn't going around calling him Jesus all the time. So his name is Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
And he is about 9 years old now, I think, and he's still doing his thing and rocking it, but he's about the best little rooster, or huge rooster. So yeah, I get it. So there, I have my own biblical name.
Well, the thing that really got me is that my son, my youngest, still lives with us. He's 23. He'll be 24 in December. And we got barn cats from the Humane Society. And one of them was a 2 to 4 year old black cat, male, fixed. And they told us that no one would ever be able to pet him. He was completely feral. They had a hard time vetting him and getting him his shots and stuff. And so my son decided to name him Satan. And I looked at this kid and I was like, oh, so I'm the one who's weird because I like biblical names, but you named the cat Satan.
I love it. I mean, not like that, but I think it's hilarious.
And turns out that Satan actually is a lovely cat. My son is a cat whisperer, and Satan and my son are the best of friends. That cat comes up to him and licks his feet if he's barefoot outside. He wants pets. He purrs. He's fine. So Satan isn't necessarily a good moniker for this cat anymore, but that's his name.
We have a 5-year-old, and one thing that I love doing is he is very creative, and he has very different naming protocols than I do. And I think his is just based on obscurity or whatever he's thinking at the moment. And so I let him name random things. Right now he is named, we have a chicken that he named Rock Splat. This was whenever he was 4. So he named her Rock Splat. And then we have Dale, who actually stands for Drink a Lot Energy. We had Treya, which was Tummy Rumble, Eat a Lot. So a lot of times I'm kind of trying to reach for the acronym to try to give them a normal name as opposed to giving a come here, Tummy Rumble, Eat a Lot, come here, Drink a Lot Energy. We have a fish named Lightning Fast, and we had to compromise. We have a new kitten. We had to compromise on naming her. So I wanted to name her Tabitha Christie, and he wanted to name her Fluffy. So we compromised on Fluffy Tabitha Mighty Super Cloud Christie. So I'm sure you can figure out who gave her the middle name of Mighty Super Cloud.
That is a huge name for a little kid.
Yeah, I mean, it's naming is very important. So that's her Christian name. That's her baptism name, I guess.
That's very funny.
Yeah.
Your son is adorable. The pictures that you share of him, he's beautiful.
Thank you. I'm sitting here as we do this podcast. I'm actually sitting here. Did you see my new project about crocheting the whole class cardigans?
Yes.
So are you still there?
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, my computer just went black, and so I think it just went to sleep. So currently, if any of your listeners are there, I make hexicardis, which are just making two hexagons and folding them together and turning them into a cardigan. And I let our son design all of his own. So he has very opinionated color taste and style choices, and he's always going to school dressed in just brightly colored, amazing little cardigans. And because we're rural, we live in a very small community, and we have a Title I school. One of his teachers reached out to me last weekend or on Friday. I was like, "Hey, do you ever sell any of the sweaters that you make your son?" We call him Little Farmpit, just for his own privacy. Um, they said, do you have any of those? Do you ever sell those sweaters that you make your son, and preferably in adult sizes? And I said, I don't sell them. With crochet, it's too much effort to sell and make anything back. And so you just do it because you love somebody. I said, I don't sell them, but I have it under good authority that you'll probably be getting something handcrafted very soon. And so if you just want to tell me your favorite colors, let me know. So his teacher told me her favorite colors and the other teacher's favorite colors. And I started thinking about it. And the kids, it's starting to come up on fall and winter, and the kids go to school, and, it gets chilly, and sometimes it's chilly in classrooms. It gets chilly, and putting on your winter coat or whatever is not always the most cozy thing to do while you're sitting there trying to learn. So I decided I want to make every kid in his class a little cardigan, all in bright colors. And so Little Farmpit is actually designing all the cardigans for his class. He went online and we registered for yarn. We put up a little crowdsourcing idea of, hey, if anybody wants to send yarn to us, you can mail it here, bright and colorful acrylic, so it's easily washable. And so this week is going to be a test and seeing how much. I have a feeling there's going to be a lot of yarn that shows up at my house and at I use my favorite local yarn shop, LCD Originals in Hartwell, as a public mailing address. So I have a feeling we're going to get a lot of stuff, and I cannot wait to see how these kids look and how they react to these cozy little cardigans that I'm calling classroom cardigans that they can leave there, they can take home with them, but then that way they can have something nice and warm. And if the teacher wants to take them home on Friday and wash them and dry them and bring them back to class, she can. But nobody knows about it. I imagine that nobody really knows who we are in this town because we're rather new here. I have been recognized a little bit in this town, but not much, more so because I was on TV for cicadas in my yard. But I'm really excited about seeing how this little cardigan project goes and all the yarn that comes from crowdsourcing to our awesome followers online. So it's going to be super cute.
Okay, I have two things on this whole train of thought. Number one, how generous of you to take the time to do that. I think that is so sweet.
I love it so much.
Number two, I really hope that Little Farmpit keeps his, freedom of expression.
Oh, me too. That's one thing that I try to protect in him so much. He wanted all of his fingernails painted a different color yesterday, and a little part of me is like, oh, I hope that he doesn't get picked on at school. It's like, but he's not going to. Kindergartners are cute, and they're going to be envious of his gold and green and purple and blue fingernails, So I hope so too. This Friday is hat day at school, where you can pay $1 and it goes to the PTA or something like that, and you can wear a hat to school. And most people just wear a baseball cap. Little Farmpit wore a hard hat that he put metallic cat stickers all over for his first hat day. And so last night, whenever we were doing story time, I said, hey, you have another hat day coming up. Do you want to design another hat? And he said he did. And he was very particular. He said he wanted it to be pink and yellow and purple and maybe a brown stripe with grapes all over it. So it's a Little Farm. I am currently designing Little Farmpit's pink and yellow and purple hat for Friday's activity. And I'm trying to figure out how to put grapes all over it for that. So while every other kid is wearing baseball hats and stuff like that, he's going to, be representing his own style. And I'm trying to keep that as long as he can keep that because he's magical. I love his vision of the world.
Well, 5 is such a great age too. I mean, as long as no one stomps on him for expressing himself, he has so much potential to just have the best life ever.
He is. I hope so. He is and I will, like I said, I will protect that and love it. So I love it for him, and I will do everything to make that little kiddo have all of his little colorful dreams come true. Because I mean,
Good.
when else are you going to be able to wear ridiculous hats and sweaters? All over the place whenever you want. And I hope that he does. I hope he's able to for his entire life. But just letting him have that little bit of autonomy and pride of designing. So.
I love it. I love that you support him in that. That's so great. My daughter used to get clothes at the thrift shops and at Goodwill because she loved thrifting. And she would rip clothes apart and redesign them the way she wanted them, and they looked better than when she bought them.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, I don't know if she still does it. I think she does like little projects now, but she used to just revamp her entire wardrobe. It was very fun to watch.
I've been embracing my for the longest time. I didn't really care about clothes that much. I think everything in my closet was black or brown or dark green. But now in my I don't really, I don't care too much what people think anymore. I'm just embracing the eclectic art teacher vibe. And so I've been wearing brightly colored muumuus and comfortable shoes and bright sweaters that I make all the time. And I am so happy. I get so many comments from other people out just like, oh, I love this, I love that. And I'll find other fiber artists that'll automatically like see something I'm wearing and they'll know like, oh, I know you made that. Mm-hmm. And so I love just the show it off, be like kind of peacocking a little bit with our clothes and with our coziness and just enjoying what you're putting out there.
Mm-hmm.
The world has neutral colors.
Yes, exactly. So I feel like we haven't even talked about your animals. I want to do that real quick. You have chickens, and I know you have silky chickens, right?
Okay, so I have, I think, 30 something goats. I don't count that often. Maybe I have in the upper 20s, but I have a bunch of goats. I have Nigerian dwarf, and that's how I started off with Nigerian dwarf. But I think that was a good starter goat. Now I believe I would rather have a small herd of some bigger goats, but my Nigerian dwarf goats are all getting older. So I think I'll get some good cornerstone big goats on my next go round.
Okay.
But I've been breeding Nigerian dwarf goats to La Manchas for 5 generations now. And so one of my things that I've been doing is trying to make a more efficient milk goat. So a goat that eats a smaller amount of feed like a Nigerian dwarf, but produces the large amount of milk like a La Mancha. Mm-hmm. And so I've been breeding. I've got down to, I think F5s are my smallest La Manchas right now, which is, are you familiar with like the F5, F3, whatever? I
am not. So tell me in poundage, how big is the goat that you're going for?
Oh, the one that I have right now, my smallest mini La Mancha is about 50 pounds.
Wow.
And she milks less than a La Mancha, but she milks really, really well. But the F categorizing is just like the generations. So an F1 would be a Nigerian dwarf and a straight La Mancha mixed together. And F2 would be the next generation down, bringing a Nigerian dwarf to that goat.
Okay.
F3 will be the next generation down. And so you're getting just smaller and smaller and getting further away from the pure genetics of the others. So you're kind of making a nice little combo. I also have 4 miniature donkeys named David. Everybody loves my donkeys' names. David Asseloff, who I already mentioned. And then Jacqueline Oasis, Butch Assidy, and Mama Ass. You know about my silky chickens, but I also have regular chickens of all sorts and types. I have a big barn. I have chickens and guineas out there. And recently I've been campaigning for the past 2 years to get emus. Yep. I don't know why I want emus, but I do. And it's like an obsession. So my wife has finally given me a go ahead for the emu and for emus. And so in March, I will be getting, I found somebody local who hatches emus and has them and has agreed to sell me a couple. So come March, I will be getting baby emus whenever they hatch. And I'm so excited because I love ridiculous animals. And the only reason why I want emus is just for the ridiculous dancing. And I like to laugh. And I have 2 miniature pigs. So,
Okay. All right. So you definitely have a farm going on there.
we have 12 acres out here. Since we talked last, I just finished a big 5.5 acre pasture for all my critters to move over to. So, or at least all the critters that don't have parts and won't get each other pregnant to move over to.
Yep.
So we have all sorts of stuff going.
It sounds so fun and it sounds so messy. And I think fun and messy are supposed to go together.
Oh yeah, no, my wife will definitely tell you I am an absolute mess. And there's no Joanna Gaines in here. We're not painting everything white and keeping things nice and clean. Like there is a mess every 2 seconds, and we painted our, do you have T-post at all in your property, like keeping your animals in?
Yes, we have T-posts in the garden.
With my little beautiful rainbow child, we got 6 different colors of spray paint and went out and painted every post in rainbow. Like one post will be purple and the next one will be blue and the next one will be green. And so for 5 acres, you have a rainbow fence going all the way around. So we let him play like pretend video games out there. Like we'll go and we'll put things along fence posts and give him clues, and he'll go and just be like, oh, I have to find a yellow fence post and I'll find a star there and do this. So we just let ourselves do what we want to do, because why not? Have some fun.
Yeah,
we're not hosting any dignitaries out here.
No, absolutely. And I would love to see a photo of your rainbow fence if you have one.
There is one on Facebook right now.
Okay.
And so if you want to, I know that we have communicated on Facebook, so I will hunt that one down and send it over to you. So if you want to put it in your show notes or anything that you do, you can show.
Well, I don't put pictures in the show notes because it's a total pain in the butt to do, but when I share the link for the podcast when it's live, I'll link to that picture on my Facebook. Hi, episode today is blah blah blah. So
excellent.
All right, so where can people find you, Swan?
Predominantly on Facebook because I write. It's the only place that I can really do long form on social media, and I've realized that I can reach more people on social media than I can just do my own private webpage. But I do have a website, which is Harry Farfit Girls, if you want to buy. So just harryfarfitgirls.com. I'm on Facebook and Instagram somewhat. I don't really care for videos, so I don't do the big video sites. But also, I am on Patreon. So if you want our biggest support comes through Patreon. So if you do feel like supporting a small farm, you can do it. You can pledge $3 a month, and it comes out. If you want to have weekly and regular access to talking to us and just kind of hanging out, we meet on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. If you sign up for our Fiber Fanatics or Up level, which is $6 a month, and you'll get a little Zoom link, and you can just come and hang out. Sometimes it's sometimes there's only 3 of us, sometimes there's more. So you can come and hang out and just chill. We call it stitch and bitch, and you can sit or you can talk about your day. So and you don't have to do anything. You can also just sit there.
So is that patreon.com/Harry Farfit Girls, or is it a different?
Yeah.
Okay.
And there is also one more thing. There is a private group online, but you can find it through our Facebook. And you can send a request and join it. It's called Harry Farfit Girls, a Safe Pasture. And what that is it's a group that you have to be a member of, but it's a page. Or it's a group, so that way you can make your own post, you can comment, you can talk to other people that happen to have found this little nook on the internet. And like I said, we build community I try to build community all over. While I can't necessarily always be there through every single thing because I'm but one human, you can still interact with. We find a lot of our people are very similar, have similar loving, empathetic values, and just and great senses of humor. So if you want to, you can join Harry Farfit Girls, A Safe Pasture on Facebook and be a part. I think there's 3,500 members right now, and it's a very active group.
Wow. Okay. Awesome. Thank you for giving me all of that, because I think after people listen to this podcast, they're going to be like, I want to go be part of that. That sounds fun. And as always, people can find me at atinyhomesteadpodcast.com. And I have a Patreon now too. It's patreon.com/atinyhomestead. So, Swan, hopefully this one worked.
I hope so.
It's always a joy to chat with you.
I had a great time talking with you too, Mary. So I'll stay online, but I will hopefully, maybe we'll do this again, but hopefully this one will work.
All right. You have a great day. Thank you.
You too. Bye.